Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's keep it going with the stocks that have been buzzing in trade on the back of news flows and technicals. And on the technicals, now we're joined by Dhwani Patel. Dhwani, thank you so much for joining in with us. And the first stock that you picked out for us today is DLF. How are you seeing the real estate pack move? And do you think that DLF still has more upside, or maybe now one should hold on to it and just book some profits maybe?
Now, DLF is yet again ready for an up move again. What we are seeing here on a weekly chart is pretty interesting, where we are seeing that the stock has taken up a support consistently in the past 5 weeks at a 20-period exponential moving average, and from there we are seeing upticks coming in today's trade on a daily chart. From the current levels on a short-term basis, we can look up at a target on the higher side at 960. Once 960 crosses, we will see further momentum building up in this particular stock. Stop loss on the lower side that one needs to maintain in this particular counter from the current level is of 810.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for DLF. Still an up move is what Dhwani is expecting for it. But let's move on, talk about KEC International, Junai. This is in focus on the back of an order win.
Yes, the company has backed order around 1,061 crores across various sectors. So the first sector is transmission and distribution. The company has backed order from the projects in India, East Asia Pacific and Americas. Additionally, the company has won a transmission line project in Malaysia and supply of towers and hardwares and poles in Americas. Moving on to other sector, they have got some orders from railways, where the company backs its maiden order for the gauge conversion works and also power system supply for the Bengaluru Rail Corporation. Also in cables sectors, the company bagged an order to supply power transmission conductors from a renowned infrastructure player from India. So positive news across all the sectors coming in for the company, and the stock is also trading positive, above holding on to gains of about 5%.
Absolutely, that's KEC International holding on to strong gains of more than 5% as of now. But let's move on and talk about the next stock that we should highlight, and this is on the technicals. Dhwani, you've picked out Chambal Fertilizers for us. This one has seen almost, when you look at it, 6 months, 20% return, last 1 year, 50% return and more. What's the outlook now for Chambal Fertilizers? Where do you see it headed from here on at 425?
Fertilizer pack is definitely in focus today, with FACT and RCF having its rally. Chambal Fertilizer is definitely also on the focus list in the fertilizer sector overall. The broader structure of this chart is on the bullish side, where we are seeing that the stock made a bottom, and it's always a higher high, higher low trajectory being followed. We did see certain consolidation or bottoming out that the stock had made in the current swing, where stock did not break the level of 250, post which it has resumed its trajectory on the higher side on the weekly chart. On a daily chart, what is interesting is that we are seeing a trend line breakout coming in on the short-term basis. From the current levels, 480 is the next target for this particular counter, keeping a stop loss on the lower side at 399.
Okay, 480 is a target that one could watch out for Chambal Fertilizers and Chemicals, but then let's keep it with that chemical side as well. And Aarti Industries, Junai, that's the stock in focus. We do have a lot of data that's coming for all these chemical companies. Seems like a strong number.
Well, yes, Aarti Industries in focus on the exports update. The May 24th the May 24 update was about exports revenue was contracted by the numbers of export revenue stood at 3.7 billion rupees, which was up around 1.4% on Y-on-Y basis and 20% up around on month-on-month basis. If we talk about April, it was up around 108% on Y-on-Y basis, which was a weak pace, wherein the Q1 for FY 2024 MMA and MEA were negligible.
Right, Junai. Okay, so surely we are going to be keeping an eye out on that. So surely seen a strong number in terms of export data numbers that have come in for May 2024, and that's from Aarti Industries. But let's move on and talk about MAN Infrastructures, and why is MAN Infra in focus now? What we're seeing is that they've acquired a prime redevelopment project in Mumbai. Now, this announcement has said that they are making this acquisition for this redevelopment project in BKC. The project marks the company's strategic move into premium redevelopment projects in sought-after locations, and project has a total construction area of approximately 5 lakh square feet and offers a rear carpet area of around 1.5 lakh square feet for the sale. So yes, on the back of that, we're seeing Infra today in focus, trading with gains of more than 2.5%, 3% almost in trade. But that was stock number 17, Infra buzzing away in trade. But what's the view in the metal pack? Dhwani, you picked out Tata Steel for us. How are you seeing Tata Steel? Where do you see it headed? Last 6 months, 30%, 40% return approximately. What is the upside that one could expect here?
From current levels, if anyone's already holding into the portfolio, then yes, we are expecting an upside over here. The next target for this particular counter is coming up at 190 as per the derivatives data, and on the lower side, that one needs to maintain a stop loss over here, or I can say a trailing stop loss over here, as the rally already suggested that majority everyone is holding onto this particular counter. So trail stop loss at 177 with a target of 190 now.
Okay, Shali, keeping an eye out on that. Let's move on and Jeanette, Jubilant Pharmova, that's the stock that's in focus today as well. Why is that so?
Well, as Jubilant Pharmova, first we look at the stock, that the stock has run up around more than 20% in the last 3 days. But there has been a pause. The pause has been caused by US FDA. So the US FDA did a completion of its inspection at a contract manufacturing plant facility at Washington, USA, and the US FDA completed this with 3 issues, observations pursuant to this manufacturing plant. Now the company will be taking an action plan and responding to the issues of the observations going forward. And if you look at the stock is trading down about 2%.
Keeping an eye out on Jubilant Pharmova today under pressure, down almost 2% in trade. Let's move on and talk about the next stock, and Canara Bank. Dhwani, what is the expectation that one should have from Canara Bank? 121 is what it's trading at. Is it still a buy?
Yes, absolutely. It's a buy also from the current level, with the volatility being fizzled out, and now that things are forming in a very stable condition, we are seeing that PSUs are the one which will pick up action over here. And from current levels, Canara Bank is definitely a buy. On a short-term basis for next 1 week, you can keep it for a target of 130. Post 130, there will be further upside till 140 in this particular counter. On the lower side, the stock has failed to breach its smaller term moving averages. From the last 3 sessions, we are seeing that it's holding on to those particular levels. So 116 is the stop loss that one needs to maintain over here for a target of 140.
Surely keeping an eye out on 140 as the target for Canara Bank. Let's move on to the next stock that we're talking about, and that is Gavi Power and Ispat. Why is this stock buzzing away in trade? At one point of time when I last checked, it was up as much as 6%. Right now up 7.5% in trade. 1048 is what it's trading at. Why? The board of directors of the company are scheduled to meet on 15th of June. That's this Saturday. And they will be considering a proposal of buyback of fully paid up equity shares for the company, face value of ₹5 each. And let's not forget, Gavi Power had actually carried out a share buyback last year when it purchased shares worth around 250 crore rupees. And this was via tender offer. So on the back of this, they're going to be meeting on 15th of June to consider buyback of equity shares. And the stock is buzzing away in trade. Strong up move that we've seen for the stock today. Let's move on to stock number 22 for today, and IOC. Dhwani, what is the word that coming in on IOC on the charts and technicals? What is the pattern that is being formed? Anything interesting?
It is interesting over here because stock has been trading into a consolidation zone where we are seeing on the higher side over here 180 to 182 is the range that it has formed as a resistance, and on the lower side we've already seen the stock has bounced from its support at 155. So from current level, it's a swing trade on IOC where a target of 180 is expected. On the lower side, the stop loss that one needs to maintain over here is now of 159.
Okay. We're keeping an eye out on IOC and the levels over there that Dhwani mentioned. But let's move on, talk about Raymond, because that's buzzing in trade, Jinay. What is the news flow for Raymond today, and why is it up 4-5% uptick that we're seeing right now?
So the company has been selected as a preferred developer for a redevelopment of land which is spread across 2 acres located in Bandra, East Mumbai. Now the estimated revenue potential from this redevelopment project is around in excess of about 2,000 crores over the projected period. The company says that it will be pursuing this project post internal and external approvals. This project is in line with company's growth plans. You know, they were extending their plans in realty. So this is in line with the growth plan for realty plan in development for the Mumbai metropolitan region. And the stock is buzzing around 4% into this trading session.
Surely buzzing away in trade in today's trading session, but surely keeping an eye on that. Let's move on and talk about SAMIL then. That's Samvardhana Motherson. And Dhwani, what are you expecting from SAMIL? Surely the industry that, you know, over there, we are expecting a good growth coming in for the industry. But on the technicals, what is it looking like? Last 5 days itself, just when I'm looking, it's up 14%. On the screen right now, I can see 6 months, 72%, right? So, looks quite attractive right now when you look at just the price, but is it attractive to buy it at current levels?
Absolutely. There is no second thoughts about buying it at the current levels for the reason being that the volume increment that we are seeing, that the average volume of 20 period, today we are seeing 25% more volumes than the average volumes in the past 20 days. So definitely it's on the technical radar because of the volume increment that we are seeing, and from the current levels also, we are also seeing a swing, previous swing high breakout around 158 to 159 levels, and the derivative data is also suggesting that 180 is where we are seeing next call option writing going on in this particular counter. So one can enter into this one, keeping a stop loss on the lower side at 157 to be on the comfortable side for a target of 180.
Keeping an eye out on the target of 180 for SAMIL, but yes, we have some updates that come in from agencies on what IMD is saying. They are saying that yes, we could expect some bit of a heavy to very heavy rainfall in Maharashtra, and monsoon is to cover more parts of Gujarat, Maharashtra in the next 2 days. That's the verdict and update that's coming in terms of the recent update on the monsoon front. So yes, everyone in Maharashtra, Gujarat, do carry your umbrellas. Maybe till tomorrow we'll be seeing very heavy rainfall to heavy rainfall in Maharashtra. That's the update there. But let's move on and surely talk about the next stock that's in focus. We have CEAT. Now they did meet, they met with a lot of analysts. What was the update that's come in there? Because the stock is buzzing away in trade. What are the analysts saying, and what were the key takeaways from this meeting?
Well, yes, Nuvama came up with a buying rating on the stock with a target price of about 3,000, which is unchanged of the target price. The company is aiming to sustain its two-wheeler leadership going forward in the PCR leader in over 2 to 3 years. Also, Nuvama says that the raw material cost shall rise about 3 to 5% in Q1 of FY 2025 due to the higher input costs. But if you look at the volume growth for FY 2025, they seem to be likely in higher single digits to lower double digits, and also they expect the FY 2025 exports to grow in double digits going forward, which is a very positive news flow around CEAT. And also the tire realizations shall improve on the back of electrification and premiumization. So the stock is clearly buzzing about 3% in today's trading session.
Keeping an eye out on the stock there, but let's move on and talk about CEAT today holding on to very, very strong gains. Moving on to the next one, we'll talk about Ahluwalia Contractors. Why is that in focus today? Why are we keeping an eye out on this one? Now, obviously, this is an update that's coming from the company on the exchanges. That recent award of the projects were worth around, that they won, were around 482 to 483 crores, and now on the back of this, in the recent times, there are two projects that they've highlighted. One is Birla Harna LLP that they've got a project from, that is the phase 1 is expected to be, the time period for that is around 31 months, phase 2 is 39 months. It's a domestic contract. 383 crores is what that contract was for, and there's another contract which they've won is of around 99 crores. This is an MEP work contract that they've received from the Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services. So two contract wins that they've had, totaling and adding up to 482 crores. These are the recent awards that the company had gotten, and on the back of that, today we're seeing that the stock is buzzing in trade, holding on to gains of almost 3% as of now. Ahluwalia Contractors in focus. Let's move on to the next stock that we have, and Confidence Petro. That's the stock, Chinay, you have picked out for us. What's the news flow here today?
Well, yes, Confidence Petroleum India will be in focus as company has added 13 more LPG stations which they have commissioned today, adding their total, raising the total number of LPG gas systems at 240 from 248 to 261 now. The company has told that this initiative done is under company's vision of making green, clean and environmental friendly auto fuel to prevent the vehicular emissions from today's vehicles. and the stock is buzzing about more than 5% in today's trading session. So a lot of positive news coming in from Confidence Petroleum.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that one. But that was the last talk for today. So thank you so much, Dhwani, as well as Jinay and Aditya, for joining in with us this afternoon on ET Now and helping our viewers understand why these stocks are buzzing in trade. But with that, it's an end to this edition of Market Fatafat. So thank you so much for tuning in.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.